If you love showing off your car, today we're going to give you 5 simple tips to take better photos of your car.
Let's do this.
Tip number 1 is all about lighting. Taking the photo at the right time of day will help your photos a ton, whether it is when the sun first comes up or when the sun goes down. That is when you're going to get the best lighting. Taking photos when the sun is real high in the sky, like high noon, is no good. Today, Matt, we haven't exactly planned this out quite right because we thought it was going to be cloudy, and when it's cloudy, you can take photos just about any time of the day. So it's a little bit later in the morning, which means we need to find some shade. So we're going to get our gear out and get it all positioned and go find a great location. So as Matt heads down into his car, he's going to grab out his digital SLR camera. Whether you're taking photos with an SLR or you're taking photos with your iPhone, all of these tips will apply to you here today.
So the reason that you want to control the time of day that you take pictures of your car is because you want to control the lighting over the car. You want soft or diffuse lighting because that will show off all the right parts of the car. If you take pictures at high noon with harsh shadows and harsh lighting, it's going to create those shadows and reflections in the car that will distract from the end image.
Gear's all set. Let's head out the location.
All right.
Tip number 2 is about finding the right location. You want to have something that has an interesting but clean background. Matt and I are headed down to the warehouse district in Peoria, where there's just a lot of really cool buildings, have a lot of texture, have a lot of interesting aspects, and we're going to pull up and get the car positioned right now. So we love this part of town because it's interesting. It also has really clean backgrounds. Matt is in position. He's got this long lens on there. See that big lens he has? And he is capturing this perfectly. Now, if you have an iPhone, you're going to need to get a whole lot closer because this is much more of a wide angle lens.
So you want to avoid distractions when you're framing your shot. And we have 3 of the worst offenders right behind us: signs, poles, and trees. You don't want any of those creeping up out of the top of your car because it distracts from the photo. So don't get caught up in just capturing just the right angle of your car. You may need to move things around a little bit and change your position so that you can have a nice clean background and a non-distracting image. So our 3rd tip for better photos of your car is framing and angles. So we talked about distracting backgrounds, and you can use framing to your advantage. If you do have something distracting your background, you can put it off to the side to help frame the car. Think of it like a picture frame. That will help draw the viewer's attention to the car itself. Here we have a really nice setup where we just have a really clean background and we have a full-on garage door. So we can use that like a picture frame to frame the car and draw the viewer's attention to it. So the other tip is getting the right angle of the car. And one of the biggest tips that I have there is to get low. We all walk around all day at this, 5 to 6 to 7 foot level, and everybody sees cars all day at those levels. But just like when you're taking pictures of toddlers, you want to get down and get on the level of the car, and it will just bring a whole new perspective that people aren't super used to all day, and it'll really help set the picture off. So a quick bonus pro tip is when you're setting up the composition of your image, put the car and give it some room in the picture to move forward. Cars drive forward, and it makes a better visual image if you leave some room for the car to sort of drive through the image. We'll show some examples of that right here.
So getting your car positioned the right way that it looks really attractive is key. When you're shooting this way, you notice that we have the wheels turned. I always like to shoot from the front, from the side, and from the back, and getting those angles just right is all the more important. So being backed in, you still want to see that front wheel angled out. By the same token, if you're parked parallel, you want it to be straight on and centered in the subject matter, so right in the middle of the garage door. On this car, I love the profile look, so we're gonna get Matt to take a few photos of it just dead straight on. This car has a menacing looking profile, so just getting low and having it centered in the door is gonna make for an awesome photo. Bonus tip number 6, have hot models. Yes, work it. Like it. Keep on. Show it off. Whew. Tip number 4 is to have a clean car. Now this just makes sense, but it does not need to be perfect. There are a few things you need to focus on so that your car looks great in photos. Number 1 is to have clean wheels. Your wheels cannot be caked in brake dust because they will not look right. Also have dressing on your tires so that your wheels and tires really pop off the photo. Now things like making sure your front end is clean of bugs and the glass is clean of bugs will help a lot if you get reflections off the front end. Now the car can have a light layer of dust on it, so don't sweat that so much. But what you absolutely need to avoid are streaks on your paint, because that is really hard to remove in any type of editing and it really detracts from the photo.
Another tip is to have a product like Optimum No Rinse on your photo shoot with you. So this product is a rinseless wash, so it's safe to use on a relatively clean car to do some light cleaning, and you can clean up some of those smudges that you might have missed when you did your initial detail. It also works as a fantastic glass cleaner as well. So it's really versatile, and it's really easy to just have one of these right there with you in the car when you're on your photo shoot. If you need any other tips on cleaning your vehicle, we have dozens of videos on cleaning your car using this product in particular, as well as dozens of others. So subscribe and check out some of our videos above on how to keep your car clean.
Tip number 5 is to edit your photos. Now, whether you're going to edit on an iPhone or get all the way into something like Adobe Photoshop, the key is to make the photo pop and still make it look natural. So something simple as adding some contrast and a little bit of vibrance while bringing down the highlights and bringing up the shadows will make that car pop a little bit more. Also, in a situation of a photo like this, I want to add a little vignette, making those edges a little darker and focusing a little bit more on the car itself. So simple edits, just like this one, can make a real big difference as we go. So there you have it, 5 simple tips to take better photos of your car.
So get out there, take some pictures, and tag us on Facebook and Instagram to show us what you got. Put any questions that you have about photography or taking pictures of your car in the comment section down below.
Hey guys, we'll see you next time, and before you go, make sure to subscribe.